Have you ever had that moment where someone tells you to niche down and something inside you just deflates? Like you've spent 20, 30 years doing 100 different things, living a full life, building real experiences, and now someone's telling you to squeeze all of that into one lane. Today, I'm going to challenge that completely because the truth is, you are the niche. Your story, your opinion, your lens, your lived experiences. That's not a limitation, it's your biggest advantage. And by the end of this episode, I want you to actually understand what that means in practice, not just as a nice idea. Hi, I'm Trish, and this is Just a Number, the podcast for women 40 and up who are ready to stop waiting and start building from everything they already know. Part business, part unlearning, part confidence reset. Because you're not starting over, you're evolving with intention. We're talking lived experience, career wisdom, passions, and hard-earned perspective, turned into content, courses, and offers that actually help people. We're not here to play by the rules. Let's build boldly, teach what we know, and make it count. Welcome to Just a Number. So let's start by talking about the problem. The online business world has a niche obsession, and in theory, it makes sense. I get it. One topic, one audience, one outcome. It sounds clean on paper. But here's the reality. Most of us have had full careers, raised families, navigated huge life changes, sometimes more than once. How do you boil all of that down into one thing? This is where the paralysis kicks in. You spend so long trying to figure out what your niche is that you actually never start. And it's really easy to fall into that comparisonitis trap, looking at other people's businesses, trying to reverse engineer their niche for yourself. But if you pick a niche based on what you think you're supposed to pick, you'll end up building something that doesn't feel like you. And your audience will sense it. They'll feel that disconnect, even if they can't name it. So many women tell me they feel like they've been living on autopilot for years, doing what was expected, being who everyone else needed them to be, employee, mother, partner, caretaker. And somewhere in all of that, they lost track of what they actually want. Then someone says, niche down, and it feels like one more box you need to fit into. There's research showing that women tend to wait until they feel 90% ready before they take action, while men take action at 50 to 60% ready. We do the same thing with our niche. We wait until we've perfectly figured it out before we let ourselves start. So let's reframe this. Your niche is not a topic. It's you. Your lens, your opinions, your story, your lived experiences. That's what makes you different from everyone else talking about the same thing. Someone else can teach the same content, but they cannot be you. And that matters more than you think. This is especially true for women over 40, in my opinion. You have 20, 30, or maybe 40 years of experience shaping the way you see everything. That perspective, that's what your audience is actually buying. When someone chooses to listen to you, to work with you, they're not just buying the topic. They're buying your take on the topic, your experience, your energy, you. The offer is the vehicle. You are the destination. So what actually makes someone magnetic? So if you are the niche, what does that actually mean day to day? Let's get specific because I don't want to leave this as something that you are listening to now and forget by the time the episode's over. Think about a time that you scrolled past, let's say, 100 reels and stopped on one. Maybe it wasn't even a topic you were searching for. You weren't thinking, hey, I need this advice today. But something about how that person delivered it caught you. Maybe it was their tone, their pacing, the way they said one sentence a little differently than everyone else saying the same basic idea. That's not the topic doing the work. That's them. Or think about podcasts in general. You've probably had the experience of stumbling onto a show, hearing the host's voice for the first time and just sticking with it, even on a topic you weren't specifically looking for, because something about how they explained things made you want to keep listening. That's magnetism. It has nothing to do with the niche and everything to do with the person. Maybe you've heard people on social media like Gary Vaynerchuk talk about this exact idea, that in a crowded space, you are the differentiator, not your topic, not your credentials, you. How you show up, your messaging, your energy, the thing that makes someone stop scrolling for you specifically, even when they weren't looking for what you're talking about. And here's the part that matters for how you actually build this. You don't have to show up the same way in the same place every time. You might have an Instagram account. You may also have TikTok, a Facebook page, Substack, an email list, all with slightly different messages, different formats. Maybe you're using video on one, carousel posts on another, stories somewhere else. You might talk about 5 or 6 different topics across those platforms. They may all seem unrelated on the surface. That's fine. That's actually the point. Because underneath every single one of those posts is the same through line. Your experience, your voice, your way of seeing things. People don't need you to say the same thing everywhere. They need to feel like it's you everywhere. Consistency isn't about repeating the same message. It's about consistently being recognizably yourself, no matter what you're talking about or where you're talking about it. So let's talk about what this looks like in practice, because I want you to be able to picture it, not just agree with it in theory. There's a financial coach I follow, and I think about this a lot. There are thousands of people teaching budgeting and money mindset. What makes her different isn't her framework. It's that every single video she posts, no matter the topic, ends with the same version of the same line. No shame, we're just looking at the numbers. She's blunt, she's a little irreverent, she swears, and people who would never watch a typical finance video watch hers because of how she says things, not just what she says. That's her niche, not money, her. I'll use myself as another example. I help women over 40 build digital products. But what makes someone choose me over anyone else teaching the same skill isn't just that I know how to build a course. It's that across the podcast, my emails, our TLC dashboard, socials, there's a consistent energy. Direct, calm, no bullshit, warm. I've been in corporate. I left. I built 2 companies and I'm still running them 16 years later. And I talk about that in-between place, the excitement and the terror both, in almost everything I create. That thread is what people are actually following. Or think about the woman who posts closet organizing content. Anyone can teach a folding method, but maybe hers is the dry, deadpan commentary she gives while she's doing it, right? It's the specific way she rolls her eyes at chaos before she fixes it. You don't stop scrolling because you needed organizing tips that day. You stop because of her. None of these women are teaching something no one else teaches. What makes each of them magnetic is the same thing. They show up as fully, recognizably themselves consistently across whatever they're creating. So what does this mean for you? Let's talk about how this actually plays out. Your content can be broad. You can talk about all the things you care about and you've lived through, even if they seem unrelated to each other on the surface. But your offer should be specific. One clear result you help people get right now. And through all of it, you are always the thread. So stop trying to be the category. Be the person people find when they search for it, and then keep coming back to because of how you talk about it. You don't have to pick one topic forever. You just need one clear result to lead with for now, and the willingness to let your actual personality show up while you lead with it. So the question isn't, what's my niche? The question is, what's the one result I can help someone get, and can I show up as fully myself while I do it? Midlife has a way of stripping things back. You start to see clearly what actually matters and maybe what you've been tolerating that no longer fits. That clarity is a business asset. You're not starting over, you're starting from experience, and there's a world of difference between those two things. If this episode landed, let's keep this conversation going. Every week, I send an email where I go even deeper on topics like this. Practical, no BS insights for women over 40 who are interested in building something of their own. The link's in the show notes. It's free, it's short, and it's written specifically for you. So come hang out with us. We'd love to have you there. Until next week, remember, just a number.